Hey guys, PainUser here with Syckness,
Hey guys, how's it going?
and we have a ZVP for you guys. I don't think we've done one of these yet. It's my little Terran bias right there. No, I'm just kidding. But here's a Zerg vs Protoss for you guys, and this is Haypro once again. And this is a gem of a game between him and etdyinlu. Not really sure who this guy is, but he's a really creative Protoss player that plays a very defensive macro style of play against Zerg, which is kind of uncommon. A lot of times you'll see like a 3-gate expo into 5-gate or 6-gate or pretty much whatever the Protoss really wants to do and push super aggressively, use a lot of force fields, force the Zerg into a situation where he's like on his back feet, right outside of his natural, pumping units, and he doesn't really have enough to deal with the super aggressive gateway unit push. Some players will get +1, some players will forego the forge altogether. It just really depends.
There's a lot of options, that's for sure.
So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit through the early parts of the game. This is a really long one, and we don't want to bore you guys or tire you out with a bunch of random stuff. So through the early game, probably just chill on X2. You guys can post in the comments if it's annoying or if the video's choppy or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and so Haypro's going hatch first against the toss, and that's okay because he got his Overlord Scout in there, and he saw that he wasn't going for a forge. But if the toss was going for a forge first, he could have denied that hatch first easily with pylons and cannons behind the mineral lines at his expo. But he figured out that hatch first was safe, and so it's going to give him a nice little eco lead. But he's just dropping the Nexus after 1-gate right here, and that's going to be really good for the toss. It's a good counter to, or at least it's a good response to what Haypro's doing here with hatch first.
The Protoss player sending in a Rambo Zealot, trying to kill some drones right there. He got one drone, and it looks like he forced a little bit of Zergling production. The Protoss actually just went straight for a 1-gate FE, just right off the bat, which can be a little bit risky, but I think he manages this very well. His build is pretty well thought out. He's blocking the natural a little bit with the forge and the gateway right here, and Haypro is building a ton of Zerglings. He moves in with a really big squad of Zerglings, and he has speed coming, but it's not close to being done. So the Protoss player pulls about half of his drones straight to the natural and starts using them in conjunction with these 3 Zealots here. Hater tries to go for a little bit of a surround right here, but I don't know if that was the best idea. And the Zealots just make mincemeat of that small Zergling group, so maybe if he had waited for these extra Zerglings that are coming in right now, or if he had waited for speed, that might have been a little bit better of a situation for him.
Yeah, but he ended up only getting 1 Zealot. I don't know if he even got any probes, but probes and Zealots can do easy work with Zerglings, that's for sure. But so it looks like they're both gonna just try to macro up on 2 base here for a little bit. They're both making drones, probes. The toss is getting a nice little Zealot ball. So.
And I like the fact that he has the early forge just to get that 1 cannon down. It covers a lot of surface area, and then as soon as he starts getting his gas income up and running, he can get that real early +1. If we turn our attention over to Haypro's base, he has stopped mining gas for quite a bit, and he's just pumping drones right now. Let's take a look at the income tab real quick. Looks like the Protoss is actually ahead right now on the income tab. Just chrono boosting out all those probes.
And it's because Haypro committed so much of his early larva to those lings that ended up not really doing much. But, you know, sometimes you'll be able to get a run by, or sometimes you'll be able to get, you know, good harass on the toss, but this just wasn't one of those games. And I think the reason why Haypro stopped mining gas is just so he can pump drones really hard, because against the toss who fast expands, you almost need to get later gas, because if you invest too many of your drones early on gas, you won't be able to pump enough drones and pump enough eco for you to really come out on top. Because even still, when he's mining Now he's back to mining half the gas of the toss. He's still behind on harvesters, and he's just catching up right now. And his third base is going up. I like that. It's a good, solid play against a fast expanding Protoss. And he loses the Overlord. That's a tough draw right there for him. But
yeah, just a bad rally, I guess, where he was trying to go into the main base and scout. But I don't think a lot of people would expect a cannon right here on the high ground. Kind of play. I think it's a decent spot for a cannon. It covers this whole area right here. I just don't know if it's necessary, really. He already has the three cannons down here on the low ground, but just in case. Haypro also sending an Overlord in the back here. He really wants to find out exactly what kind of tech he's using, and he's also sending a little Rambo group of 6 Zealots straight to Haypro's base.
I like that. He's making him produce 16 Zerglings. I like the micro here from Haypro. He's just going to pull him back to low lings. Just trying to make the most out of these lings early.
And definitely builds enough lings to just crush that little group of Zealots, and then just returns right back to macroing. I think he's got a macro hatch going up somewhere. Yeah, he's got a macro hatch going up in his main. He just finished layer tech, got his Roach Warren up, getting his 4th gas, and he's got his 3rd up and running now, so he's going to start saturating that. But the problem is the Protoss is already taking his 3rd, which is really early. He just has a handful of units right now, but it's going to be enough to stop any kind of speedling harass on the 3rd. One thing I would love to see Haypro do is try and maybe harass both spots at once, but he's got these 3 cannons here, so I don't know how well that would work out for him. He might be able to get a full scout off and just run the link through the natural and tries to get up into the main. You can see all these gateways here. The Protoss is moving up to 8 gateways, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, he's moving up to 9 gateways on 3 base, so
yeah, that's pretty solid. And I like how the Protoss is staying just behind on the expo count. He sees that Haypro's now on 3 base. Oh man, those Zerglings just getting shredded. He can play defensively and keep up with the Zerg with macro if he has enough sentries for force fields and if he has good micro. So that's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to play a macro game here with Zerg, and he's doing a good job. He doesn't need to get his bases up as fast as the Zerg. He can stay a little bit behind and still be in a really good position. And he's also getting blinked for his stalkers. But it looks like Haypro is trying to cut some drones here and go pretty aggressive here with a bunch of roaches. His roach speed is done, and let's see what he can do here. Blink is almost finished now too, so that's going to probably come into play here. Although he doesn't have very many stalkers out yet.
yeah, I think Haypro, just by constantly harassing and scouting with his Zerglings, saw that the Toss really had no army to speak of, and he was expanding and macroing real aggressively. He's still ahead on harvesters, and at this point in the game, like, that's not the situation you want to be in a Zerg versus Protoss. So the Protoss actually getting real cavalier with his army right here, just like pushing across the opposite side of the map. Haypro comes in the front with a million roaches, denies the +2 on the forge, and starts harassing. Maybe it's this gateway as well.
Here it is. Oh, and those are nice force fields. You know, he's spreading out the roaches, but you know, roaches against sentries and zealots. You know, it's not looking good for the Toss right there. But he has such a good infrastructure right now that he can just start producing so many stalkers to counter these roaches here. Although he is making a lot of roaches as well, so
20 more roaches on the way right now. But the Toss is doing a great job of just buying time and continually producing stalkers out of all of his gateways.
Yeah.
Really, he shouldn't have been able to hold this attack at all, but due to his like really complex Sim City,
good Sim
and
City
these
here.
cannons right here, he might be able to hold this out.
And blink as well. And then, but so basically right now, Haypro needs to do some damage, and he is. You know, he's weakening the Toss ball. You don't want to let that build up too big, but you know, he's sniping some stalkers, but he is losing a lot of roaches as well. So is Haypro coming out on top here? It's questionable, but the SimCity from the Toss definitely saved him. You know, he's got nice cannon positioning. Haypro's just gonna, if he wants to do damage to the Toss, I have to take fire. Yeah, he's killing some of them, which is nice, but will have been enough.
Yeah, I don't really mind Haypro trading right here, because like he had a pretty good opportunity to just outright kill him and end the game. And he's done some pretty critical damage. He managed to get the Forge, stop the +2, gets the Robo Bay,
nice.
Stops that Immortal from building. And really, I mean, he's only sacrificing Roaches at this point in the game, which is okay for him. and he's forcing the toss into a real panic situation. But I think the toss is still actually pretty good ways ahead in econ right now. He has a ridiculous amount of harvesters. It's 73 to 60 right now, but Haypro just got his 4th base.
Finished burrow too, so that snipe on the Robobay was that much better too, because he would have gotten an obs out for this burrow, but now he has nothing, so that was a really good snipe on the Robobay in many ways. But the Void Ray is going to completely nullify these roaches, so he's going to have to, once he sees that Void Ray, he's going to have to just back up, try to get some Hydras or Corruptors out. But it was a good attack by Haypro. I liked what he was thinking. He saw a bunch of maybe 5 sentries, 5 zealots, and he had a good amount of roaches, so it's a good indicator of, you know, you should maybe go in and attack. I would have maybe liked to see him try to just deny that 3rd base instead of going for the heart, but especially due to the Sim City that he had, but who knows how that would have gone. But overall, it was a pretty good attack. Now he's getting a Spire, and he's getting a lot of Hydras with upgrades, so I like that.
Our Protoss built a Stargate and got these 2 Void Rays out, and he's getting 2 more. He's also getting a Fleet Beacon, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a mothership out of our Protoss player. Not only that, he's also getting a Robotics Bay. I really don't like the position on this Robotics Bay at all. It could get easily sniped by like an Overlord and a handful of Roaches or something, but you know, whatever. He probably just had a probe there and dropped it real quick. Haypro sending Overlords all over the map, getting his creep spread going. He's almost got his creep near the Protoss natural, so he's been doing a pretty good job of that. He did add his Hydra Den and his Spire, so he can make the necessary units to deal with these future Colossus and these Void Rays. And the Protoss player really just sitting back, securing everything, making sure his 3 base is super solid. He's getting upgrades, weapons 2, armor 1. He's getting Zealot charge, getting a few more Void Rays. Probably going to start chronoing out some Colossus and get Colossus range. And he's sending observers out on the map to scout and see what's going on. Haypro, in the meanwhile, has a ton of resources right now. I'd like to see him maybe do something with that or try and trade pretty early on here because he's already at 178. The Protoss is at 160, and this is like a really prime opportunity to trade with the Protoss, maybe come out a little bit ahead and take your 5th at the same time.
Yeah, there goes the 5th hatchery. And I like the Corruptor timing here because it's just in time for the Colossus. So if you get a little pack of Corruptors out, especially if they have Void Rays, even though they're not great against Void Rays, Hydras can deal with those, but Corruptors against Colossus is so key, especially when you're going to Roach Hydra. So Colossus timing's good. I think he pops out a bunch right as the first few Colossus are coming. I was just trying to trade here. Blink micro is very nice.
Yeah, he's doing a real good job with those Stalkers, but Haypro did manage to kill all 4 of those Void Rays, so I think that's a pretty big victory for him. Anytime you can trade with the Protoss and get rid of all of his major high-tech units, I think that's a pretty good victory for you. If you can trade and get rid of all the Colossus, if you can trade and get rid of all the Void Rays, trade and get rid of the Immortals, what have you, that's really what makes the Protoss army so retardedly strong. It's not the Stalkers, it's not the Zealots, albeit they're really good units. They're not like insanely good. It's the Protoss higher tech units mixed into that ball with force fields that just makes it so ridiculously powerful against Zerg. And this is kind of cute. Haypro's got a bunch of burrowed Hydras and Roaches here, denying the Protoss 4. So good, big ups to him on that, stopping the 4th, not really letting the Protoss macro anymore. And I think the Protoss is still ahead in the economic
probes,
game,
but not in bases though. The fact that Haypro is 4 and getting up to 5 base right now puts him ahead, even though he's behind on harvesters. And yeah, like Pain was saying, if you can trade and get the high-tech units like those Colossi, and if you have more bases and you have a better eco, it's a really good thing to do, because Roach Hydra can just demolish the Gateway army. So if you can just keep dwindling them down, try to be trading once you get maxed, just keep trading, because as you can see, Haypro has over 4,000 minerals right now. He can just re-max pretty much instantly if he's hitting his injects, and if he has macro hatches when he trades. So I'd like to see him actually move in, because he's maxed right now, and I don't think the toss is. He might be, but he's probably getting close. But yeah, so he's at 170. So if he goes trades right now, he could re-max instantly. But he's just letting the toss get a 200-200 ball, which is not going to be good for him, because it's going to be harder for him to trade effectively. And now the mothership's out, so that's gonna be harsh. The vortex is